story in the NFL. Drew Brees has been designated to return from the injured reserve list today. That means he's allowed to return to practice after missing the last 4 games due to a punctured lung and broken ribs. Saints went 3-1 without Brees, but are coming off a stunning loss to the Eagles. They get ready to face the Saints. Sean Payton, before the news came out.
We haven't ruled anything just because we don't have to. Today was his first day where he was eligible to come back. I said it last week. He's got a ways to go still, and he's going to be someone that we're not going to hurry back and just put him in the game. I think that the significance of the injuries are such that you got to make sure he can function and feel confident.
Saints getting ready to play the Chiefs this upcoming weekend. NFL insider Dan Graziano joining us. Dan, what's the process going to be like now for New Orleans to decide to bring Brees back?
One of the key things, Kevin, they have to figure out is what kind of risk would he be at for a significant re-injury, right? How can he protect himself from an injury that would have a negative impact on him health-wise? These were serious internal injuries, as you mentioned, that he's coming back from. So before they put him on the playing field, they want to make sure that he's protected and that nothing too terrible would happen. Obviously, injury always a risk in football, but when you're dealing with something like this, you get to be extra careful. Because they designated him for return today, they have 21 days to activate him. So they don't have to play him this week or even next week. 3 weeks from now, they would have to make a decision. It's possible he gets on the practice field in the next couple of days and plays this week. Sounds more likely it'll probably be one more.
All right, it's the first step for him in his return. Taysom Hill is still the starting quarterback as of right now. Let's stay on the topic of quarterbacks. Washington, they've won 4 in a row, led by future comeback player of the year, Alex Smith. Here's the issue. Smith is dealing with a right calf injury. He's missed practice this week. Day 1 starter Dwayne Haskins has been taking first-team reps this week.
Hey, Ron, if Alex is unable to practice this week, what's your comfort level with letting him play Sunday?
It'd be good. I mean, a smart football player like him, yeah.
So not necessary that he needs to get some work in this week, game plan, that sort of stuff.
Well, again, I mean, a smart football player like that, you usually don't worry about those guys. Those guys will be able to pick it up and be ready to go.
Felt like I got good mental reps out there today. Obviously, Dwayne taking them all, but certainly out there and in it. And just same thing. It was kind of one day at a time and see where we're at tomorrow.
Dan, back here with us. What's going to be the process here in Washington to kind of determine if Alex Smith can play against the Seahawks this weekend?
Well, you heard what he just said. See where it is tomorrow. And if it's not ready tomorrow to allow him to practice, then they'll try it again Friday. Their hope, obviously, would be to get him on the field for at least a little bit this week and test that out. If he can't go at all in any practice between now and the weekend, then, of course, that makes it more likely that he wouldn't be able to go Sunday. But they're optimistic. They believe that it's okay. He said, obviously, it was unrelated to the significant leg injury he suffered a couple of years ago. You referenced when you mentioned his comeback player of the year candidacy, which is very strong. But I think I think they're optimistic that he'll be able to go Sunday unless he just can't push off that leg and protect himself. But they're being careful. They're just optimistic.
Dan, it's so strong. They should name that award after him. That's how incredible
just
this comeback
now.
is. Right? Exactly. No doubt about it. And by the way, Washington, they lead the NFC East 6-7, a game up on the Giants. Dan Graziano with us.
Still to come on SportsCenter. More tonight's NFL headliners, featuring the Bills on the verge of
62 games next year. Makes sense.
Just it was 5.
Well, it would be 17, right? Which they've agreed to at some point. I'm selling the idea that this is good for the players from a health perspective and a mental one, given what they've gone through. But I'm buying the notion that both sides, the owners and the Players Association, will consider it for financial reasons. Because of the losses from the pandemic, I could see them wanting to make a few extra bucks.
Tim Calishaw.
Ohio
I'm going to buy it from the sense that we know they're not going to go back to the 4 preseason games. We've seen the last them going that.
Some of the players,
and it's the fringe players who really get beat up in the preseason.
Then an MVP.
And so you're kind of saving them a little bit anyway. It seems it hurts the rhythm of the season, but they don't care much about the balance of the rhythm. They care about the money.
I go to you for my rhythm. Kevin Blackistone, how about you?
Well, obviously they're going to try and meet this out for financial reasons, but it doesn't make any sense to me from health reasons, as Mina just pointed out. These players have sacrificed what we really don't know playing through this pandemic, and it seemed like to me they would want to hold on to what health they have right now.
Bob Ryan?
I agree that I understand why they were doing it financially, but it's not the right time to do it. Because I thought this was a done deal. They are going to do it. We know it's going to happen. It's just wait until 2022. I totally agree on the health thing.
Buy or sell two, stop me when this sounds familiar. Could Clemson's Trevor Lawrence, projected number 1 NFL draft pick, spurn the New York Jets? Stop. Rich Cimini for ESPN today. Mina, I'm looking at your face now. You've heard this before for number 1 picks. Some like Eli Manning actually doing it. You've heard it before projected upon Lawrence, although he isn't taking the bait in any way here. Where are you on this right now?
Well, could he? Yes. Will he? Absolutely not. We're talking about a player who lobbied to play college football with no reason to. He was already going to be the number 1 pick this season. And we're also talking about a Jets team that will be in much better condition when he gets there. There'll be a new head coach. This year's draft bore some really nice players. It'll be a good landing spot for Trevor.
Tim Galashaw?
You know, I think it's possible a guy from a small town in Georgia who chose Clemson isn't thrilled about living off Route 22 in New Jersey, although I enjoyed my time there. But I don't think we talk about this a lot more than it ever actually happens. And he doesn't seem like the kind of guy who's going to do anything, so I think he'll be a Jet next.
Kevin Blackstone?
You know, if the Supreme Court takes the case on compensation for college athletes and rules on it immediately, and all of a sudden he can make $35 million playing at Clemson rather than having to go to the league, then yeah, maybe. But that's not likely to happen.
That's not likely.
He'll be in the NFL.
Jockeying around for teams, you know, the Jets isn't something he would want. Maybe Jacksonville. I don't know why, but maybe because you said he grew up in Georgia. Maybe Jacksonville is a better option. Maybe Dabo Swinney gets hired by Jacksonville. Bob, I'm just throwing in ideas here. Does he have leverage? Should he be thinking about this?
I don't think that he has the leverage that Elway had, who had baseball, or that Eli had because he had a Manning name and an agent at all. And I don't know that he's the young man who's going to want to do this. Aren't we being sold that he's a very spiritually guided young man with principles? And I don't think that he would think, I think he would think it's unseemly not to do what the rules say.
Oh, okay. I never considered it would be immoral to kind of dictate where you would like to work. I mean, it's odd. These guys get told where they're playing. The point is, if somebody's drafting at the top of the draft, that team's usually not good. And whether it's the Jets, whether it's the Bears, whether it's Jacksonville, these are all franchises who haven't really hit it out of the park with quarterbacks. We'll move on. Bill Belichick's record versus rookie quarterbacks. Does anybody know what it is? I'll give you big points if you do.
It's good. It's real good.
It's good.
It's good. That's what you guys have for me. It's good. That's not good enough. It's 21-5. And this week, it's Tua. Brian Flores says the Patriots will be a very good challenge. KB, buy or sell Tua living up to the Belichick challenge here?
Well, you know, we just saw him last. He was pretty good. Threw for over 300 yards, a couple touchdowns in that Kansas City game. Roll him out there. We won't know how good he can be until he plays the game.
Bob Ryan, you've seen this firsthand, how Belichick matches up against rookie quarterbacks. How do you think Flores and Tua should be attacking it, and how do you think he'll do?
I think he has a better chance than most of those youngsters in that he is a mobile quarterback, and that kind of quarterback traditionally does give the Patriots trouble, whether he's 35 or 21. I say go put him out there as well. He might give the Patriots some trouble.
Mina Kimes?
This is not a good Patriots defense, but Tua also is missing a ton of weapons. I say it doesn't matter because the Dolphins are in it for the long term with him. Yes, they're in playoff contention, but for the most part, all their decisions right now are being guided by their future, and Tua is the future of this team.
You put anything into the stat that Belichick owns rookie quarterbacks, and you saw what he did to Justin Herbert.